The sun had barely risen over the vast, untamed wilderness when a low, menacing growl echoed through the valley. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't the wind. It was a 2025 Toyota Tacoma, the king of midsize trucks, awakening from its slumber. For decades, the Tacoma has been a warrior of the off-road world, a machine built for the fearless, the adventurers, the ones who see obstacles not as barriers, but as challenges waiting to be conquered. Now, in 2025, Toyota has unleashed a new beast, stronger, smarter, and more relentless than ever. This isn't just a truck. It's a declaration of dominance. And today, it was about to prove itself. The beast awakens, power meets precision. Deep in the backcountry, a rugged trail wound through towering cliffs and dense forests. This wasn't the kind of road meant for the weak. It was a battleground where only the strongest machine survived. And the Tacoma was built for war. The driver tapped the ignition and the truck rumbled to life. Under the hood lay Toyota's all-new turbocharged 2.4-liter four-cylinder engine, pumping out 278 horsepower and 317 lb-ft of torque. But for those who craved more, who wanted to shatter limits, Toyota had unleashed something even greater. The iForce Max hybrid system. 326 horsepower, 465 lb-ft of torque. Numbers that didn't just sound impressive. They were game-changing. This wasn't just a truck. It was a force of nature, ready to tear through whatever stood in its way. As the Tacoma rolled forward, the ground trembled beneath its rugged all-terrain tires. The 8-speed automatic transmission shifted with lightning precision, sending waves of power surging through the chassis. For those who preferred complete unfiltered control, the 6-speed manual transmission stood ready, offering a raw and mechanical connection to the road. The first test was brutal, a sheer rock ascent with loose gravel and jagged edges. Other trucks had tried and failed, their tires spinning helplessly against the unforgiving terrain. But the Tacoma? It didn't hesitate. A flick of the drive mode selector activated crawl control, Toyota's advanced off-road cruise control system. The truck gripped the rocks like a predator scaling a mountainside, inching forward with machine-like precision. Every tire placement was calculated. Every ounce of power was distributed perfectly. The summit was near. With a final surge of torque, the Tacoma lunged forward, cresting the ridge in one fluid motion. It had conquered the impossible, and it was only getting started, unleashing the Tacoma's true power, off-road domination. On the other side of the peak, a vast expanse of untamed wilderness stretched for miles, mud pits, river crossings, and deep desert sands. This wasn't a drive. This was a proving ground. The driver engaged multi-terrain select, allowing the Tacoma to adapt instantly to the challenges ahead. Mud? The tires dug in, clawing through with relentless grip. Sand? The power distribution adjusted, keeping momentum high and preventing sinkage. Then came the real challenge, a raging river, swollen from last night's storm, cutting a path through the canyon floor. Most vehicles would have turned back. The Tacoma? It moved forward. With a deep breath, the driver pressed the accelerator. Water surged up the sides, swallowing the tires, but the Tacoma never faltered. Its class-leading 33.8-degree approach angle and high-mounted air intake ensured it could breathe even as the river fought to pull under. The TRD Pro's Fox internal bypass shocks absorbed the violent force of the currents, keeping the truck stable as it pushed through. Halfway through, the river grew deeper. The flow intensified, but the Tacoma's electronic locking rear differential engaged, ensuring maximum traction. The engine didn't whine. It roared. Then, with a final surge of power, the Tacoma climbed onto dry land. It shook off the water like a beast shedding its skin. Another challenge conquered. Another victory earned. Towing hauling in unmatched strength. Just up ahead, trouble awaited. A stranded overlander, his trailer sunk deep in the mud, his rig powerless against the elements. He waved for help, knowing only a true powerhouse could pull him free. The Tacoma lined up, its steel-reinforced tow hooks gleaming in the sunlight. 6,500 pounds of towing capacity. 1,750 pounds of payload. This wasn't just a truck. It was a workhorse designed to rescue the unprepared. The moment the strap tightened, the Tacoma dug in, Torque surged through its frame, muscles flexing as the trailer groaned forward, inch by inch, until it was free. The stranded driver stared in disbelief. This wasn't just strength. This was dominance. Where power meets luxury. The Tacoma's interior reinvented. After hours of brutal terrain, the driver climbed back into the cockpit. But this wasn't just any interior. It was a command center, a sanctuary built for warriors. A 14-inch touchscreen dominated the dash, seamlessly integrating wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. A 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster provided real-time performance stats, ensuring total control. And then there was a sound. The premium JBL sound system, featuring a hidden subwoofer, turned the cabin into an oasis of clarity. Outside, the world raged on. Inside, the driver was wrapped in perfect acoustics. And for those who ventured deep into the wilderness, the Tacoma's bed-mounted power inverter ensured that no matter where adventure led, power was never out of reach. Safety without compromise, the ultimate guardian. Toyota knows adventure isn't just about thrill, it's about confidence. That's why the Tacoma comes armed with Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, pre-collision system with pedestrian detection. Because the unexpected should never end an adventure. Lane departure alert with steering assist, keeping the driver locked onto the path ahead. Blind spot monitoring with trailer assist. Because control isn't just about power, it's about awareness. Adaptive cruise control for long hauls that demand precision. The verdict, the 2025 Toyota Tacoma reigned supreme. As the last rays of sunlight stretched across the canyon, the Tacoma stood victorious. It had faced everything the wild had to offer, and it had conquered it all. This wasn't just a truck. It was a legend reborn. For those who refuse to back down. For those who demand power, precision, and absolute dominance. For those who see roads not as paths, but as challenges waiting to be shattered. The 2025 Toyota Tacoma isn't here to compete. It's here to lead.